everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm super excited because I'm going to start a new little series here on my YouTube channel called Testing Throwbacks. So basically I have so many palettes on my wish list that are older releases, and I'm still very much interested in them, whether it's the color story, the brand, whatever it may be. There are just so many palettes that still intrigue me, and I know that so many YouTube videos and content out there is very oriented towards the new releases, what's new, what's now, but I wanted to take some time to appreciate some of the older palettes that either you guys may have in your collection, you can dupe from your collection, or you've been interested in picking up as well. So for today's video, I'm going to start this off with the Essence Salut Paris palette. So this is a super pretty 9-pan palette from Essence with some very soft colors. So I will go ahead and swatch this before we get into the eye look. And here's a sneak peek of the eye look if you didn't notice. And with that, let's get into the video. So here is a little close-up of the packaging and the 9 shades that are in the palette. And there are 6 mattes in this palette and 3 shimmers. So let's get into swatching these shades. Starting with the first one, this is just a matte, light, off-white shade. Pretty staple shade in a palette. Swatched pretty nicely. Felt soft as well. Next up, we have a really similar shade. This one is a tiny bit darker, but they are quite similar. Next, we have this cooler toned gray shade, and it looks a lot cooler toned in the swatch than it does in the pan, and this one did take some building up as well. Next, we have this more purple toned shade, and again, this one looked a lot more cool toned in the swatch than in the pan, but it is a very pretty cool tone purple shade. Next, we have the matte brown in the palette, and this one didn't swatch very well. You can see I'm building it up quite a few times to get any sort of pigmentation. Next, we have the first shimmer. So this is a light white-ish pink shade. Very pretty, just one swatch right there. Was pretty pigmented. Next, we have a slightly darker pinky shimmer shade. And again, very, very pretty. And then we have a darker purple, which will be a nice little deepener shade for the light matte purple. And finally, we have the dark shimmer in the palette. And these shimmers swatched really nicely, just one swatch applications each. So here is a little overview of all of the swatches. As you can tell, this is a very soft, light palette, but I'm excited to play around with it on my eyes. So let's get into the eye look. So the first shade we're going to take is this one right here. This is the light, kind of cooler toned purple in the palette, and I'm going to start just working this through my crease. I'm going to start kind of high up in my crease. And just work on building up the color. So far it's pretty nice. These are obviously very soft shades, but it's laying down a pretty good wash of color. So I'm just going to bring it out towards where the end of my brow is, and then curve it in a little bit to connect it with the upper lash line. And there is some kick up in the pan, just so you all are aware, but I don't think there's any fallout under my eye, so that's good. So next we are going to take this gray tone shade right here, and this is on an e.l.f. blending brush. And I'm just taking this on the very tip of this brush, and I'm going to go lower in the crease and just start laying this color down to start deepening. And I'm going to follow that same shape in the outer corner of the curve. The shade is not doing much. It's not very pigmented at all. I'm going to try a smaller brush to see if I can get more packed in the crease there. On an e.l.f. eye crease brush, this one's a little bit smaller. I'm going to start by just packing this shade into the crease instead of blending it. I really wish there was a darker transition shade in this palette, for me it would be a deepening shade. Just because the shade is pretty, but it's just not very deep like I would like my looks to be. I'm going to take a little bit more of that first shade and just run this along the edges just to help blend everything together. Next, I'm going to be taking this shade right here, and I think I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the brown out here. So with a mix of these two, I'm going to try deepening up my crease a little bit more. That dark brown is not a very good shade. That barely shows up in a swatch, and I'm sure you saw it in the swatches. It's just does not do much, which is really disappointing. So I'm going to focus on just using that darker purple shade to help deepen up the look. And then I'm going to go back in with the gray a little bit more. So we can help the look blend together more. And then we will go back in with a touch more of that first shade. Just blend everything out. Alright, next, on a flat brush, I'm going to take this shimmer right here, and this is the second lightest shimmer in the palette. And this is just on a flat brush. I want to see how these work dry. That's actually really pretty. I feel like the shimmers in here are definitely the star of the show. I am going to take a little bit of this on my finger as well and just pat this over so we can get the full effect. And then once again going in with the gray. I'm just gonna run slightly along the edge there to blend the two shades together. And I'm also going to start taking this on my lower lash line. And I am bringing this all the way across the lash line. And I'm going to take that first light purple shade and just help blend out. We are going to take this lightest shimmer shade here, and this is on an e.l.f. small smudge brush. This is going to go right in the inner corner. This one is super pretty too. I'm going to take this and I'm going to blow it out a little bit in the inner corner. That is so pretty. We're going to take a little bit of this on my brow bone as well, just to really add something to this look. Here is the final look. I'm going to go add some mascara and I will be right back. Okay, so here is the final look. Overall, I have to be honest, this palette didn't overly impress me. I feel like the mattes were just very soft and not very pigmented. They do build up somewhat nicely, a couple of them, but overall I have to say that they didn't really impress me that much, which I'm super disappointed about because these palettes are only $10 and this would have been a very nice affordable palette. I will say it does work well for fair to light skin tones if you just want a soft, romantic, everyday type of look. That is mostly what this palette is geared towards, I feel like. So I think I did create a pretty look, and like I said, the shimmers in this palette do perform really well. I especially like that inner corner shade. I think it is very standout in this palette, but there are only 3 shimmers in this palette, so that is a little disappointing. Let me know if you have tried anything from Essence, whether it was an eyeshadow palette or something else, and let me know if you like this type of video with me testing these more throwback products, because I actually did have a lot of fun with this, and I do like trying new formulas and testing out new brands, different brands, and just playing around with eyeshadow in general. I find it so much fun. So let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what else you would like to see from me down in the comments below. And if you would consider subscribing, that would be great. I post new videos every Tuesday. And if you haven't, please go check out my Instagram. It will be linked in the description box down below. And with that, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!